Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing really well. Today, I wanted to speak about a very important tip that will help you understand your union and will help you to attract union in a very, very fast way. So, that thing, that will really attract your union to you and will speed up your process, will speed up your separation, is that you understand your shadow side. Your twin flame basically is your shadow side reflected outside. And I know this is not heard, in these exact words very often, but this is very, very true. What you will see is that because of the way the connection is, it's your soul, but the opposite polarity of your soul. So when you go chasing, they go running. When you are in the feminine energy, they are in the masculine energy, and vice versa. If you are averse to some things, your twin flame will 100% be doing these. And these aversions are going to be very, very deep rooted in you. They aren't just going to be, things that are happening superficially. For instance, if you have an underactive sacral chakra, then your twin will most likely have a very overactive sacral chakra. If you are not very concerned about, finances and you just take them for granted, your twin will be overly concerned about finances. If you are very, very sensitive emotionally, where you are an empath and you just feel everybody's pain and you feel things very deeply, then your twin will be very averse to feeling things deeply and will seem to be someone who engages in superficial connections. If you have a very good relationship with your family, let's say you're very, very close to your family, you're very attached to them, it's an attachment that is very hard for you to break out of, then it'll be the exact opposite for your twin, who will be in a space of complete detachment from his family. Maybe the situation in his family will be such that he will not be very attached to his family or, like his parents or whatever, because the situation would have been very different. So what is important here is that you try to bring into balance everything within you in your life. Everything that I spoke of is a representation of your shadow side. Basically, our attachment with our parents, our relationship with sexuality, our relationships in general, our feelings, our emotions, our relationship with money, even our health, our physical health. It can also be that if you don't care about your physical health, your twin is going to definitely be somebody who cares a lot about exercise and, his health overall, etc. And you could be very averse to physical exercise. So, you know, what you can do about this is to bring yourself into balance, because anything that I just explained right now, it basically gives a sense of imbalance within you as well. When the divine feminine is in an imbalanced energy with herself, when any of her chakras are misaligned and they tend to go into overactivity or underactivity, this is what you have to fix within you. So look at your relationship with money. Are you very obsessive about money? Have you always bothered about money a lot, or have you never really cared about money at all? If you look at your relationship with sexuality, how have you been sexually depressed, or have you been very active sexually? Have you what is your sense of physical exercise? What is your sense of your health? How do you see yourself? Your relationships with your parents, are they completely healed and sorted, or do you have a sense of resistance towards your mother and father, maybe with difficult experiences that you either faced when you were a child or something like that, that basically makes it hard for you to either trust them, or you are overly attached to your parents where you overly want to do everything for them. And I just say parents, but you can look at other people also in your family, whatever it is, just that our parents are the first people that we get to know, and the relationship that we have with them, the dynamics that we are under for the first 5 years will impact the dynamics that we have as adults. So if those you can try to fix, that will be wonderful for your connection. Similarly, look at everything which is in your shadow side. Look at the places where you're imbalanced. Look at the places where you are either too extremely involved into something, you're very, very positively attached, or you're very put off by it. All right. And your twin will have the opposite side. So when you start to balance this out, now let us say you are overly attached to your family, and you start, taking stock of it. You start being more in the present moment. You start understanding that life is not something which exists in a state of attachment, but I have to move into a state of love. And love doesn't have attachment, in its ambit. Love is very unconditional by its nature. We use the term unconditional to explain love, but love is just love. There is nothing called conditional love. All love is by default unconditional, all right? So when you start looking at the attachments you've always had, you start looking at the roots of it. Always fear is at the root of attachment, and you start to look at that fear and you face it and you release it. Then you will start shifting out of a place of attachment to a place of love, and you will start losing that fear based energy that was underpinning your relationship so far, especially with your family, all right? Similarly, if you have, let us say, been sexually very, very repressed, which a lot of divine feminines have been, and I will be speaking more and more of this separately also, because I think this is something that, really needs to be looked at. Then you can try to look at, the source of this sexual repression in this lifetime for you. Does it go back to childhood? Does it go back to certain beliefs? And what can you do to release this, to bring it into a space of balance so that you understand sexuality as a part of you? You don't repress yourself. You don't think that it's bad, or you have any moralistic ideas around it or something like that. You release all of that, so you can start working with your sacral chakra. You can start doing various things to release the repression. It basically depends on the kind and the extent to which this repression exists within you, or the opposite. If you are very, very into only, you've only had casual relationships or something like that, and it's difficult for you to have deeply emotional relationships, then you need to look into that. You need to look into the overactivity of the sacral chakra. So coming to emotions, now if you feel like, you have been very emotional as a person, you get affected very easily, you need to start looking at boundaries. You need to start looking at managing your emotions yourself. You need to, start understanding, how you are impacted by others, but also you have to look out for yourself. So just having that balance, that harmony within you. How will you do that? Meditation is an excellent tool, and journaling is an excellent tool to take stock of what you're feeling. So this is all a very day to day practice, because balance is something that is achieved with a lot of daily activity. This is why meditation is so important. If you learn a special meditation technique, these often have basic balancing acts which precede main meditations. So for instance, the meditation that I do, that I learned as in inner engineering taught by Sadhguru, it's offered by Isha. So it uses balancing as the first step, balancing of both energies within you. So that did me a world of good in understanding my emotions and in balancing those out. And I also consciously worked on my sexual repression, which it came to me from so many sources. I understood it so deeply as to where it was really coming from and all of that. And it was not a very easy road to climb, because it was very steep, and I felt like I saw no resolution to my sexual repression and everything, and there was so much conditioning I had to let go of, and there were such other reasons. So I felt that it was very essential to work with my chakra systems there. So if you want, you can also start working on your chakras. That is the easiest, the fastest way to come into balance. And otherwise, you can also learn inner engineering. I think it's offered online around the world now. You can get started with Isha Kriya, which is online. It's on YouTube. I will pin these video links below. If you find this interesting, definitely go check these out and learn a proper meditation exercise which balances your energies, first of all. I have also, pinned the video about how to balance a small technique you can do every day to balance your energies. So I think you can go and the video on the significance of triple three, and you'll try to just go to the comment section and then see the first comment that is pinned there, and it speaks about this small technique that will help you come in balance every day. It's a tip shared by Sadhguru. It's very impactful and very useful for you all. So basically, work on your shadow side. And there are various other ways you can do this. You can just start working with a therapist if this is what you find comfortable. You can even work with me. I will also help you understand your shadow side more, and help you with the techniques, that will help you in releasing various fears, or sometimes even just understanding what our shadow side is. You can do your own research, you can read up about, the relationship that you've had with your mother and father. You can read books on it and understand it more deeply, so that again, what you basically make conscious is then a problem that can be tackled, right? And this is where, then your twin flame will start to mirror the healing back to you. Because if right now you're in the extreme state, any of the extremes that I mentioned, then your twin is also in the opposite extreme of that state. When you balance and you come in your center, your twin also balances and comes in the center. And this is where harmonious union is possible. All right. So, this is all I wanted to share with you all today, that this is the tip, that you have to understand your shadow side. It's incredibly important. This is also a journey of your spiritual awakening. So, don't forget that ever, how potent it is that your soul split into two. And you met your other, split soul, or your other half, your other polar energy. And that's just triggering everything within you. Imagine for lifetimes you would have continued as a soul to go through unconscious patterns, and unconscious behaviors and responsibilities and god knows what, and making wrong choices, or choices which were not for your highest good. And this gives you an opportunity right now, having met your twin soul, to finally do all the healing work that your soul desires so deeply within you. Don't see this as another person, see this as your soul only in another body. Okay, that will help you have unconditional love and forgiveness, and like a space of gratitude for your twin. Because nobody else would volunteer to carry, your wounds in such a beautiful way, where they show you your shadow side. Right, what a beautiful thing, beautiful favor which your twin soul is really doing for you. So, yeah, work on your shadow side. And if you need any help, of course, like I mentioned, if you feel guided, I can definitely help you, even intuitively, and also in the sense of psychologically understanding it with, techniques of releasing these traumas, and coaching you and counseling you. My details are given below in the description box. You can write to me on the email address given, and I'll be very, very happy to assist you. So remember this for today, then work on your shadow side, start listing down, the fears that you have, start listing down your relationship patterns, your relationship with everything that I mentioned today. This is just, a list which is indicative, but if you can even start to work with an exhaustive list. If you already worked on these issues, then start going even deeper and understanding yourself even more deeply. All right. So, have a beautiful, wonderful day. Sending you a lot of love, and take care. Bye bye.